experts that she'd be involved with, because she was a heavy networker, especially around the Moreno Valley real estate market.
Yes.
And she would be bringing in some of the best people that are in the real estate world in Moreno Valley, and I got to meet all these folks and hear what they had to say. So a couple of years of being around that every single day, I got the bug to start investing in real estate in 2006, and started going to the auction, the public auction, where they were selling off foreclosure homes, and went every single day for 6 months, and never got a deal because all the people there would upbid the houses just so I couldn't get one.
It was personal, huh?
Absolutely. So, one day I'm there, and this has been about 6 months. I've been showing up every single day with the cashier's checks in hand. You have to be ready to pay for them right there on the spot. And, a couple $100,000 worth of cashier's checks. It's a lot of money to be carrying around, but, every day would be go to the bank, get the cashier's checks out, and then go to the thing. And if we didn't buy anything, go back and deposit it back into the account, and, every day. So, went every day for 6 months. And finally, one day I was talking to one of the other buyers there, and I was just saying, like, look, come on, man, let me just buy one. I'm not going to be here. I'm going to buy it. I'm going to go work on that house. I'm not going to be here. I'm not a volume buyer like you guys. Let me just get one. So he was like, all right, fine. What are you going to buy today? He shows me his, we kind of compare lists of what we're going to be bidding on. I'm like, he's like, you know what? I don't really want that one because it's a second. And he's like, I'll tell you what. He's like, and I know the other guys aren't bidding on that one. So he's like, I'll place my opening bid because I have to. But he's like, you can just take it for $100 more than that. So that's basically what happened. So
that's again about who you know, right? I mean, I was going to ask you, well, they kind of like keeping you out because you were young, or they're keeping you out. But now it's like you showed up, you got to know who the players were, and got some respect because you kept showing up. So that was great.
Yeah, and I don't know, maybe, but it was actually also my business partner, Steven. He knew the guy pretty well because Steven used to work for Chicago Title.
Right.
And he used to be the guy on the phone that these guys at the auction would be calling.
Okay.
And Steven would be running those title reports really quickly while they're bringing up these houses to see if there's anything on title that might be difficult to work out once you buy the home. Because once you buy, you're buying whatever position deed is on that property at the auction. So if you're buying a second position deed, you for sure have a lender above you. Right. But you also need to make sure there's no other loans that might possibly be already on title that maybe the lender didn't know about when they got their deed recorded. So, somebody's on the other end of that call.
That's great.
The title company. Yeah.
That's good to know.
And so Steve knew the guy, and Steve was there with me that day, and he helped me kind of with that conversation. So I got to give credit where credit's due. But we finally bought the house, and the people that were there, they had gotten into drugs pretty bad, and that's really what caused them to lose the home. And, they were basically pretty easy to work with. We just said, look, we'll help you guys get out. We'll give you some cash to, move out. And, we just said, make sure it's cleaned up. You got everything out of here that you don't want. And, they moved out within a week. It was a pretty easy transition, really. And then, we got started on the house. And I knew nothing about construction at that point. Not a thing. I thought that the carpet ran from one room into the next room underneath the wall. So it was pretty bad, my knowledge of real estate. So I remember I was told to go in, and my door guy, he said, go in and just remove the doors, and then I'll come in and I'll put new doors in. So I went in there and I removed not only the doors, but I removed the door jambs and everything that goes with them. So he comes in the next day, he's like, I can't do it for the price I quoted you because now I have to buy jams and everything. It's a lot bigger job now. He's like, I told you just remove the doors. I did remove the doors, but he didn't care. But so I worked on that house. I did a lot of it myself. I bought a set of tools and thinking I'm going to become a construction guy. I'm gonna do it. I bought a whole bag of DeWalt tools, and and then I remember I bought a dishwasher at my house and decided I was going to put it in because I'm a handyman now. It took me 4 hours. But in my defense, it did last for like 10 years before we finally replaced it. So, it was a good experience. Learned a lot about it. Had a lot of contractors work on that place. So met a lot of good people, and it went pretty well. Sold the house at a profit in January of 2007.
That's good to do on your first flip.
Yeah, exactly.
Not all of us are that lucky.
Exactly, yeah. And but got out just before the real estate crash, So, if everybody remembers out there, the crash in the Inland Empire really started around April 2007.
Right.
Because that's when some of the big banks, like the biggest bank at that time, and I don't know why it's escaping me right now. I can't remember the name of it, but they
Countrywide one.
It was prior to Countrywide. There was another bank, and they had basically declared bankruptcy. That was and that was kind of the first like major domino to really fall. And yeah, so I mean the real estate market here in the Inland Empire crashed.
Wow.
Very fast. You know, from April 2007. I remember going to an auction, again, this is now an REO auction, so there was a lot of real estate owned property, which we hadn't really had in the Inland Empire since like the 90s.
Right.
Was a big REO market. So REO stands for real estate owned for those folks out there that may not know.
Yes.
So this means they're owned by the bank. And so there's a big auction. They were going to auction off like 500 homes, you know.
Right.
At this big auction, we went to the Marriott in Riverside, downtown Riverside, and we're down there. Every buyer I know was there. Bruce Norris was there. You know, everybody I know that was a big buyer at that time was in this room.
Right.
And I'm in the front row with my mom and with Steve, and we're up there bidding on stuff, and nobody else is bidding behind us. We're like, are we stupid? Why is Bruce Norris not bidding on anything? Come to find out later on, he had a bidder in the audience that was bidding for him because everybody, was looking at Bruce to see what he was doing. But we ended up winning the bid on three houses that day. This is December 2007, and but come to find out, this was a reserve auction. They didn't let us take the homes. They said, it's still up to the bank to decide if they're going to sell it to you for that price.
Oh, wow.
So we only ended up getting one of those three that we won the bid on. The other two ended up selling for considerably less than that a couple years later. And it's funny because they never called me and asked if I'd offer that again. But we started buying rentals, got into rental property in December 2007 and thought I wanted to become a landlord. And then I ran into this problem where once you get to 10, you can no longer have traditional Fannie Mae mortgages.
Right.
They won't let you have any more than 10. So you either have to find some friends that are willing to let you buy homes in their name, or you got to find other creative financing sources. So I ended up meeting somebody that he was just a guy who had some money. He owned a construction company, and he had some money, and he was like, yeah, I'd love to get into some, real estate deals. So we kind of worked out an arrangement where he would finance them, and I'd, fix them up and do all that good stuff. And then one day I went to a commercial real estate seminar out in Texas and decided I'm going to become a commercial real estate apartment, person now, and found a great apartment up in Adelanto, 99 units. Wow. We got it under contract. We were in escrow to close. And the day before we were supposed to close escrow, the bank said we're no longer offering that financing, and they pulled it. So we didn't get the deal. And we're sitting at a Denny's up in Adelanto, and we're talking about it like, man, okay, we almost bought this thing. He's like, well, I still got all this money. I'd love to put it to work. And so he had the idea to come up with a hard money lending company.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, let's talk about that. So we kind of explored some hard money lending options. I stuck my nose in a bunch of stuff and figured out how to do a hard money lending company. And we created his hard money lending company. And we're lending his money out, which we lent out very quickly. And it was very easy to do, I come to find out. There's a lot of people that need money.
Yes, we all need money.
So I was like,
wait. Those deals.
Yeah, I figured it out. I found out how to invest in real estate the easy way. We did that for a while, but it got to the point where I had all his money lent out within 3 months of starting the thing. It was that quick, and he had about $4 million. So we had his money out. It was doing great, but I had all these other people coming to me for loans, and I didn't have money to lend them. So I approached him and said, hey, we should raise more money. Do you have any friends, family, anybody that might want to get in on this with you? Because this is doing really well, like what you should. And he said, no, I don't want to involve all that SEC, I don't want to get into capital raise, and all that stuff.
Security exchange and sophisticated investors and all that. Yeah.
And so I don't want to do any of that stuff. That's just, that's not me. So he said, no, I just want to keep it us. So I'm like, I'm looking at basically a Rolls Royce's worth of commission, like pass me by. I said we cannot fund $15 million worth of loans, which was a lot of money in commission. And I'm like, okay. So at that point, I'm kind of like, all right, I got to do this on my own. So I started my own hard money lending company, which was Rehab Loan Group. We started that in 2013, and basically had a couple friends that were looking for something to do, and brought them in to help me out. And we're doing the loans on that side, trying to raise money, and really got into that world. And then we started the investment club. So it was you're kind of a very fast, transition, over the years, but
what an awesome story. And I mean, I'm just sitting here like true entrepreneur. I mean, It's like showing up every day for 6 months, not getting anything, making connections, then not knowing which way it's going to go, starting with one purpose in mind, seeing that out, other doors opening, and then when other people can't do it, you say, let me do this myself.
Yep,
I
exactly.
just understand. I just love that. I mean, we just need to know that's the kind of grind that we have to be successful entrepreneurs and business owners. So really appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But that's I left you in 2013, but we'll
okay, we're gonna take a break right now, and when we come back, we'll continue with Todd there talking about his journey through real estate. Okay, stay tuned. More exciting information to come.
Cheers.
Is it squeaking really bad?
Oh, what, the chair?
Yeah, I can't hear it.
You
can hear it really well. I'll swap out chairs.
Oh. Was mine squeaking too or no? Oh, okay.
I don't know, try to do a couple things.
Just try to do some gymnastics on this and see what
Yeah,
happens.
because the kids were even like going, oh my god, it's really bad.
Could you hear the squeaky chair on yours?
Huh?
Could you hear the squeaky chair on yours?
Really? I usually notice it. I didn't notice it.
Huh.
Oh, the whole time we were noticing.
What did I do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds better.
Yeah, this one's not. Yeah.
All right, so what did I do?
I was like, you did great. I was like, you need this.
Break these. Okay.
It's funny because like with mine, I would go straight through the full hour. I didn't take breaks.
I know.
But I know you're taking breaks every 15 minutes, so you're doing 15-minute breaks, right?
Yeah. So what? The next one is.
Yeah, we'll go a little past
I'm glad
12:30.
you took one because that was really bugging me. I don't know if they can hear it or not, but I could hear it.
Yeah, I left us off on the.
12:35.
So on then we'll take the next one.
Okay.
So we live right here. We live.
Oh, yeah. We talk about everything.
We can tell Gary what's going on over here, or Carlton, or Barbara, or somebody.
What am I adding? What am I adding?
This is the behind-the-scenes part of it.
Hi, Carlton. Hi, Gary. Thanks for tuning in. Have any questions, put them in. We'll try to see them and respond. And if I don't get to them on this show, you can always reach me out on Facebook or, respond in the comment section here. Hi, Barbara. Thanks for tuning in. My good friend, Barbara Collins.
Yeah. We're back.
Hello, we're back. You're listening to the International Wealth Builders Radio Show with your host, Dr. Sharon Barnes, and today I'm here with Todd Bear from Bavk Porch Homes, and he was just telling us about some of his entrepreneur journey through the real estate market. I think we were up to 2013, right about the creation and founding of the Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club. And so we're going to continue with Todd. We're just going to listen and just enjoy and learn. Take notes. We're looking at a very successful entrepreneur here based in the Inland Empire. And we're just so proud to have him. And one thing that I try to do as the founder of the ADU ADU Advantage, is to put together resources here in the Inland Empire, particularly counties around us, San Bernardino, Orange County, LA, San Diego. The ADU market is going crazy, but we still have opportunities here in the Inland Empire. That refers to the combined counties of Riverside and San Bernardino. So we're looking for contractors, architects, designers, entrepreneurs, investors that are willing and ready and hopefully even grounded here in the Inland Empire to come together to help our community take advantage of the accessory dwelling unit laws and to help create inventory and generational wealth in the Inland Empire. So, Todd, I'm going to hand it back over to you. I'm just enjoying this journey with you today.
Now that I can talk about that background forever. I used to have a radio show here on KC.
Exactly. That's how we were together. We were in opposite seats. You were the host and I was the guest.
There's two different occasions where I had a guest that was supposed to come on last minute. They had to cancel. I couldn't get somebody to fill in.
Right.
So I literally did 2 shows by myself, and I just phoned my background for a full hour, because I had nothing else I could do.
Yeah, right.
I attempted to take calls. I was like, anybody who wants to call in with a question, and occasionally I get a call, which was cool. But, yeah, it was pretty funny. But yeah, so I'll try to make it quick because I know we want to get into some of the ADU stuff. But I guess after starting the loan company, I ended up starting this real estate investment club with Steven, and it started off. We rented out at the Mission Inn. We had the Spanish art gallery, big room, one of the big rooms they have there, and put in all this money and put it up on Meetup.com.
And that's where I saw it, and I looked at it for several months. I'm like, they got over 200 people in this room. It's at the Mission Inn. I kept seeing all these people that was going and all the comments, and it's like, is that really real? I really have to go see if this is really real. And I walked in, and it was awesome. I mean, that was the best move and the best meeting I could have ever come to and plugged into.
I appreciate that. Yeah, it didn't start out that way though. First meeting we did in the Spanish art gallery was to an audience of 4 people. So, definitely not the expectation we had going into it. But, we did it again the next month. The first was September 2014. We did the second one in October. We had 15 people show up. Karen Hall was our speaker. It was it was getting bigger. But then every month it was getting bigger. And it was doubling from 4 people to 15 to 30. And then we did a holiday Christmas party at the Mission Inn. And we found out why we shouldn't do Christmas parties at the Mission Inn. Because they do the Festival of Lights thing,
right? And
nobody that wanted to come to the Christmas party that we set up for could get in. The Mission Inn was like, you have to be a hotel guest to get in. They didn't know about our event, so they weren't letting people in. People couldn't find parking. So we had like 20 people at the Christmas party. We had like 50 paid RSVPs. So
30 upset people.
Yeah, we did. And we had to make 30 refunds, which, if you're a business owner, refund is like pain, gosh.
You have to already pay for those plates.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing. We gave Mission Inn a bunch of money to put together a little holiday party, and so, we tried to avoid downtown Riverside around the holidays when we started to do our Christmas parties. So, and those got big, gosh, the one we did in 2019 was massive. I think we spent like $12,000 on that thing. It was crazy, but yeah, it was a lot of fun, and we grew that. On Meetup.com, I think we got it to about 5,200 members on Meetup, which was one of the largest real estate investment clubs in the country. And Meetup.com flew Steven and I out to New York because we were one of the top 150 meetups worldwide.
Wow.
And so we were one of 3 of real estate related clubs that were one of the top 150 in the world. And we got to go out there. We got to meet with organizers from all over the world, with people from Ireland, from Australia, New Zealand. Like there was people that had, and most of them were like outdoorsy clubs, or there was like a dad's club in New York. There was, it was stuff like that. So there's only 3 like professional kind of based ones, and we were one of them. So that was really cool.
What an honor! I can see it. Still is a great club.
Still is.
We miss you.
Yeah.
Nothing like the parents that birthed the baby. It's like you hand it over, but nobody's never the parent.
I know.
You and Steve, when you transitioned over to Bavk Porch Homes, there was a void. It's been filled, but it's still, it's still your baby, and we still appreciate the seed that you land. The foundation is still going strong, but that's success as well. When you can come together, like you and your partner, and develop a club, and then the club grows over and over, and you get an average of 200 people attending every month.
Yeah.
Okay, and then your entrepreneur business spirit takes you another direction, and you actually have something that you can hand off to someone that they want to take, and that it still thrives. It didn't dissipate. Because a lot of time as business owners, we don't put systems in place, we don't stick to it, and so when we stop, it stops, whatever that is. When you actually have an asset that you can hand off, that's really a success story.
Yeah, and we really focused on getting the club to a place because it was a full-time job. There's no way around it. To run that club, it took a full 40 hours a week to run that thing. So we had Joanna, who was basically doing all the administrative stuff because just working with the Mission Inn was a full-time job. I mean,
Yes.
we love the Mission Inn, great people over there, but we did go through about 3 different staff changes, full staff changes of their
Right.
catering department, and it was, so just working with them sometimes was painful because we, had very particular layouts and things like that we wanted to stick to. But it was tricky. And then COVID hit, and we took the thing online. And Stephen and I just were like, the soul is not here. We just cannot do this. It's just painful to have to do these things on Zoom. It's a social group. It's everybody there is a networker, and it's hard to network over Zoom. It's just, and the soul was gone, and we just didn't really want to do it anymore. We were already tired as it was. We just launched a company that really could have done better if COVID didn't show up, so for us, it was really tough to do it on Zoom, and Rich was there, Rich Rice, and he was, we were like, hey, we'd love to just kind of be a step away from this, and so he said he'll take it. So we handed it to Rich, and Rich has done a fantastic job. I mean, the club, I just went to it, last week on Wednesday, they had the big meeting at the Mission Inn. Great event.
Yes.
I mean, he's turned it into like just a networking thing. We used to do kind of a presentation, but he's done a fantastic job with it. It's still going very strong. I still think of it as probably the best single thing you could do in the Inland Empire.
And I agree. And I'm still active in that group, and I think it is. And I think that it's still the foundation that we all feel connected because, again, as I said earlier, the core of the network, the caliber of people that I've met, come from that group. I mean, It just really started, what I said, like everybody's not as successful as you on their first flip. And I came in and we were doing this flip with my partner and I, and we needed some bridge capital in the middle because some unexpected leaks and HOA stuff came up. And I was able to go to the Real Estate Investment Club and meet somebody who trusted me, to say, here's this $15,000 you need, If I wasn't been in that room networking and making those relationships, you never know who you have met until you need them. And then for that to come, it's just awesome. So
and it's funny too, because in that room you have no idea who's got the money.
Exactly.
The person that looks like the homeless guy that we hired in, he's not in the homeless money, which is the funniest thing.
Yeah, and I was looking around the room because I did like the answer when you had the meeting and we would have the different color stickers. Whether you were a service provider, you had a deal, you needed money, or you had money for the deal, and then you were you break off from the networking would ask, raise your hand if you're looking for money or if you have money for a deal. And I looked at those people who didn't raise their hand. Those were the richest people in the room. They looked away. I'm not raising my hand. I know all y'all are the great people coming over to me, but those are the people you need to network with. The ones that's looking down like, I don't need nothing. I don't even know what y'all talking about.
There was definitely skewed a lot of money.
Exactly.
It would prefer not everybody in the room knew about
it. Exactly.
That was one of my many contributions to have these colored stickers. So you knew but everybody was there.
Green with the money.
Yeah, some of those green stickers, and we were looking forward to. We didn't have all the money.
Yeah.
So we would partner up with lots of people in that room to do stuff.
And it made it very nice to partner because if you had a deal and you were looking for financing and people were looking for deals, make that connection because we had that visible identifier that this person might be interested in what I have or learn what type of investments they're looking for, whether it's multifamily, commercial, or, buy and hold or whatever. So, it was really interesting.
But as we're doing this club, and we're flipping a lot of houses. We had a lot of flips going, at that time. We were doing, at any one time we had about 20, 25 homes. So it was a pretty busy time for us too. So trying to run the club and all this stuff, it was.
And the mentorship you had under the club too.
Yeah,
that was awesome for people who were able to take advantage of that.
The accelerator.
Really, yeah.
That was, and some of the people that came to the accelerator, remember, are now doing fantastic.
Exactly.
It was really cool. And it's cool too, just to see from a mentor sort of perspective, to see these people that came in as a completely new person, knowing nothing about real estate, and now all of a sudden I see these people, I meet with them frequently, and they're out there killing it. They're doing fantastic. So it's cool just to see that, and I never really realized what it would be like to be a mentor to somebody, but it's pretty.
And you mentor me, like myself, because I came in on licensed realtor and knew the traditional real estate. But the club taught me the investor side, and that is a fork in the road that a true realtor who wants to work with an investor has to understand, because not all the rules of traditional buy and sell real estate applies when you're dealing with an investor. And it's not doing anything illegal. It's just a different way of flow and different things they look for. And if you want to work with investors, you really have to open your mind and your eyes and learn about the real estate investment side.
Absolutely. And the best realtors out there, they're the ones that know all the different ways to do it.
Exactly.
I mean, most realtors only know one way to buy a house. That's where, a lender comes in and they do a traditional mortgage. And most people out there bought their homes this way. But there's 1,000 different ways to buy a home. And that's, if you have a realtor that only knows one of those ways, they're not the one to go to if you got some kind of a creative idea in mind. So,
exactly. All right, we're going to go to our next break here. Time is just zipping by, and me and Todd just catching up like old friends. But we'll be back, and we're going to start talking about accessory dwelling units and tiny homes versus accessory dwelling units. So stay tuned. Come back. This is Dr. Sharon Barnes with the ADU Advantage and the International Wealth Builders Radio Show. See you in a minute.
It's nice to get my ears a break. They get all sweaty. You still got Gary and or Carlton or somebody's watching.
Carlton and Barbara still watching. Thank you guys. Now, some people had trouble finding it on the radio. I don't know why. You got Conception, but then you can get it on KCAA on the .com and everything. And I think now, going live, I'll be able to put it up sooner and, and build that it will.
Yeah, I was always terrible at marketing our show. We didn't really do any marketing push until kind of the last year we were doing. Joanna, she was out here. She would actually put it up on Facebook and mention it on the investment club.
I have people call me and like, I missed it. Where can I see it? And I'm kind of waiting on it and everything. And it's like, then I get busy and I don't look for it in 2 or 3 days. So I think this will kind of help a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Real Men, this is Thomas, right?
Mm-hmm.
I did the Real Men of Real Estate. I didn't do that version of it. That looks fantastic. I didn't do that version. I did the one that I did that one. Mm-hmm. There's Thomas and Bill Tam.
Yeah.
Hey, watching the commercials.
Oh, that's a Toya. They invested in the Dominican Republic. They have some great opportunities there. So reach out to Latoya Tillett.
Yeah, Latoya, she's coming to come.
Yeah. We came together.
Yeah, I remember.
Yep. We're back. Thanks for sticking with us. We're here with Todd Bear, and we're talking real estate. Just going through that real estate journey with him, and we left off talking about the Inland Empire Real Estate Club and what a value it's been to thousands of people over the years. And Todd and his partner Steve had to step away, and they founded the Bavk Porch Homes. And I'm going to have him talk about that and give us some little education on challenges, tips, things we need to know, especially if we're trying to do accessory dwelling units in the Inland Empire.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we doing the comment that we kind of got into this thing. So we're looking at, other opportunities. What's coming up in California? What's the big deal? What's happening? So if you want to build a home in California, or if you want to build a tract of homes in California, gosh, you're looking at minimum 3 years minimum to even start digging the dirt,
Wow.
And during this process, you go through this CEQA process, which is basically a time for everybody and their mother to come and sue you and sue the project. So it's a huge bottleneck in California. So the reason why we haven't seen a whole heck of a lot of new construction projects going on is because of this CEQA process. It takes many years to get through. So it really slows things down. But the only way to really solve the affordable housing problem in California is to add more homes. We need more units. That's the only way we can solve it. It's either that or kick people out of the state, which isn't going to happen.
Well, a lot of people say they're leaving anyway, but we still got a lot that needs houses.
Yeah, and so, we got the sunshine,
Right.
and if you're going to be homeless, why not California? So, I mean, that's what I'd choose. Probably move down to like San Diego and get away from the heat. Yeah, so it's, we need more housing units, and the only way to do it is, from what I can tell, accessory dwelling units. And California opened it up.
Yes.
California opened up the floodgates where now you can convert your existing home. You can add a junior ADU to your existing footprint of your home,
Right.
which can include your garage, and you can add an exterior or another accessory dwelling unit. So you can basically convert your single-family home into a 3-unit home.
Exactly.
And in most places, you can rent those other 2 or all 3. It really doesn't matter, So this has upset a lot of people in the state. There's a lot of people, the NIMBYs, we like to call them, the not in my backyard.
Yeah. That was one of the reasons for the state to take over, because every little community that had protests against not in my backyard and don't build it here, they had to go and make this umbrella.
Yep.
But people still don't want to adhere. So
yeah, and, it's funny because you have people that will complain on one side of their mouth. We have this huge homeless problem, and we do. And then on the other side of the mouth, they'll say, "But I don't want anybody moving into my yard." So when you have a single mother out there that has a job and she works full time, the only thing she can really afford is a house, or an apartment in the worst part of town.
Exactly.
And this isn't a bad person, but the thing is, the person that would normally be living in that worst part of town would be somebody of a lower income, and
right.
Those people are now homeless. So the people that just literally couldn't afford to even move in there because those apartment rents have gone crazy high. And in the worst parts of town, you'd be surprised what some of these rents are right now. Like, how are people affording $1,700 for a little studio apartment? I don't understand. So, there's not much in the way of government assistance for these types of things, which probably should have been introduced as well. And I know there's a lot of people that don't want that. And there's, but the reality
they stereotype it, like even with the Section 8, they open it up. People have been on waiting lists for like 4, 5, 6 years. They opened it up, people got their vouchers, and then you had landlords who didn't want to accept them.
Yep.
Because in their mind, Section 8 is a certain type of person or whatever, or won't take pride in my home. But Section 8 is also retired seniors.
Yep.
It's single parents. It's people who just need a decent place to live.
Yep.
And then we have people that are, I remember I was practicing law when I heard the term working poor. And I'm like, they were saying they were collecting Christmas gifts for the working poor. And I'm like, working poor? Like, yeah, I mean, people that are working 2 or 3 jobs to take care of their family and still can't barely make ends meet. And so the accessory dwelling units, I think, are great for that. And then we just have to open our mind and not be so stereotypical.
Absolutely. And the thing is, there's many people out there, they just want a good place to live. They're not going to be a nuisance or anything like that. They just need a place to live. They're going to be home in the evenings and they're going to be at work during the day, And there's a lot of people, I think, that are very closed off to the idea of having somebody, a stranger, living in their backyard or something. Right. But, you're going to be helping somebody out, that because they're not building starter homes anymore.
Right.
If you go to a new tract development, there are some out there, there's no homes out there that are under 1,000 square feet. It's just impossible in California to build a home under 1,000 square feet and have it make sense for the builder. If anything, they'd be building it as a loss leader to bring people in, but they're not doing it. And most new tract developments aren't building single stories either. They're building 2-story homes, and 2-story homes don't tend to have a downstairs bedroom. So if you now have an aging parent or something, and you want them to come move in with you because they're, they can't move up and down the stairs in their own homes, so you're going to move them in. Well, if you don't have a downstairs bedroom, where are you putting them?
Exactly.
You got to put in one of those goofy stair elevator things.
Yeah, right on the stuff. Yeah. I've talked to hundreds of homeowners here over the last 6 months or so, and a good number of people, I would say about, of the ones I talked to, about 60% are building or entering in accessory buildings for their parents. Mm-hmm. And so even though you don't want a stranger in your backyard, you can get your parents in your backyard, and then wherever they're living, whether it's an apartment or selling a house and coming to stay with you, that's opening up another unit of housing. And, so you need to think about that. The other 25% or so are building for adult kids. Because COVID changed a lot of things. People weren't going away to college the way they were.
the housing is still very expensive, and the accessory dwelling unit is a way to level the playing field and to, I had one client over in Rancho, and she was saying he can't go out into the world, he can't afford it right now, but he can go into the backyard, okay? And then we're going to collect rent from him, and we're going to save it up, help him buy a house, and his brother's going in the backyard. Yeah. So you can get your own strategy going, but it is a way to free up inventory and create some income for families.
Yeah, and then at some point, maybe the youngest child might move out, and now you can move somebody in that might become a paying tenant. And
exactly.
Who knows? Maybe they're a local college student or a single mother or something like that. And there's a lot of opportunities out there, and who doesn't want a little extra money, in their pocket to help pay their own mortgage?
Exactly.
So it's the idea of an ADU is a great idea. It's for anybody out there, yeah, I think it's a fantastic thing if you got the space for it. And in the Inland Empire, there's over 300,000 lots basically that can accommodate an ADU that have the space for them. So there's plenty of people out there that need them, and we recognize that. And so that's kind of what prompted us to start Bavk Porch Homes. And we started under this concept of we were going to build tiny homes as ADUs. And a tiny home, for the legal definition, because I'm talking to Dr. Sharon Barney, not just talking to the legal definition is it's under 400 square feet, and it would fit on a standard Department of Transportation maximum is 40 feet by 8.5 feet. That's the biggest you could possibly make it, because it fits on a standard trailer chassis that would be roadworthy. So we have one of those. We have a home that's 40 by 8.5 feet. It's 270 square feet.
Beautiful homes. I've toured them. They're great.
And they're fantastic. And the way that everything was going prior to COVID, all the cities and and even the state of California was looking at approving these as becoming a habitable, permanent backyard accessory dwelling unit. They were looking to go that direction. But once COVID hit, all that stuff, all those talks kind of went off the table, and they really haven't picked them up to the same degree they were talking about them before. And that kind of it forced us to really change our business model, because the whole purpose was to build these as ADUs. And since we couldn't put them in a backyard, we tried like in a couple of different cities locally, Redlands, Bloomington, Riverside. We tried a bunch of different places, and didn't work out. So we did find out what does work, because we like the idea of building in a factory, because we can build them fast. It only takes us 10 working days to build a home.
Wow.
So I don't know if anybody out there's ever built a home before, but if you build one on site, you're looking at a few months probably just for construction, and that's you're not even including the permit time that it takes for your contractor and your architect and all these people to get involved. Minimum right now to get a home built, you're looking at like 18 months. That's pretty standard for the course.
Right.
For a traditional stick-built home. But with us, we can build them in a factory, and it takes us 10 days to build them once we start them on our production line. And the permits currently in California is a maximum of 60 days.
Are they adhering to that? Because for a stick build, it doesn't seem like
doesn't matter.
Okay.
Doesn't matter if you're adhering to it or not. It's a state overlay. And there's sort of this concept, and probably shouldn't say it on the radio, but I'm gonna. It's the just beg for forgiveness kind of attitude. There's a lot of people I know who are just starting these projects because they hadn't gotten their approvals past the 60 days, and they're just starting. And they're like, we're going to beg for forgiveness instead of ask for permission, because we're within what the state law is right now. And so, and it's the Wild West. You have, they just extended it, I think, until 2030 now, where you can do this, and all these 60-day rules are still in place.
Okay.
So if you've got the space, the maximum setback is 4 feet all on the three sides. You just can't have it within, I think it's 25 feet from the front property line. And yeah, you can put these in. So we're building, and effectively, it's a manufactured home. If you look at the actual code of regulations, what we're building is a manufactured home. And it's, but we build them better than a traditional home. We build them to be able to be driven down the road, so they have to be sturdy. It's designed to withstand an earthquake and a hurricane at the same time, Because if you're driving this thing in a windy rain and it's going down the highway, it's going through an earthquake and a hurricane all at the same time. They're meant to last that, and then you put them on a permanent foundation in your backyard, and it becomes your second unit. So that's really how we're doing it now, and it's the fastest way to get an ADU in your property.
And they built to the standard building code, or a little bit different manufacturing?
manufactured housing is built to a different code. Traditional housing is built under Title 24,
Right.
and then manufactured homes are built under Title 25. So it's two different codes, but HUD is who sets the Title 25 standard. It's a federal standard, and it's based upon, standard building practices, and there are some things that you can change in there that make them, a little less quality than a traditional home, but we build ours like a regular home, 2x4 construction, 16 on center, that kind of stuff. So ours are built always to the highest degree we can, and we're probably the only manufacturer that will always build it to the highest standard we can, because we want to build quality products. We don't want to build something that's going to, become tornado bait or something like that.
Of course.
But so you build these homes, and you can get them in there. If you don't have room to move it on the side, there's cranes that can come in and they'll just, move it over. And it's funny because you won't have a house there one day, and you'll have 3 days later you got a fully set up house that's
Wow, it's awesome. I remember I was working with one client over in Rialto, and they had a small lot, and they wanted to put a pool there, and they described this rectangular space they wanted inside, and what they wanted is like, I didn't teach it Bavk Porch homes. Yeah, exactly, and they were able to go right in San Bernardino and go to the factory, talk, see them, the production line, see some of the models, talk to the people working there. It was just really awesome. So you're changing that model a little bit?
Yeah, we'll be changing. We have always different models coming out, as we get feedback from the market. But we always have new stuff.
Okay. When we come back, we're going to wrap up our last section, and we're going to talk to Todd about what he's doing, how to get in contact with him, and what we can look from him and his partner here in the near future. See you in a few minutes. Stick with us. Thank you.
Taking good time.
Huh?
It's going. It's going too short. We need another hour.
I know, huh?
Let's go one more hour.
Let's come back and do phase 2.
Exactly. That's what we're gonna have to do. We're gonna have to do part 2. Yeah. So you do this once a month, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So are you still in San Bernardino? So you're going to just change the flow model?
Or what's that now?
Oh, that's right. You're on the riverside. Okay.
Yeah, we're a massive facility now. It's huge.
Okay.
We actually just subleased the one in San Bernardino.
Oh, okay.
We just signed a sublease yesterday. So.
Oh, okay.
So So we're going to be making. It's a real estate investment deal. We're a master lessor for the people listening.
Okay.
So we're going to cash flow on that one.
Okay.
$9,000 a month.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's another no money out of pocket investment strategy. It's the master lessor.
Yeah. Do the master leasing.
Yeah. I can go on and on about it.
I know. And I'm in here like, I want accessory dwelling units, and we need to like increase our network. We're gonna have all these projects going in the Inland Empire, and we need contractors. I need architects and designers. It's not one size fit all,
Yeah.
Yeah. So we need to get that going.
There's Joya. Go to Canada.
Hi, Shelton. How you doing? One of my clients, Shelton Brooks, is on here on Facebook Live. I'm talking about accessory dwelling units. I mentioned it to him when we were working another project, because I think he has a nice property over in Hemet that might be a good candidate for that. So we're going to explore that and get some cash flow, extra cash flow. And Carlson's a contractor. Okay, we're back, winding up the show with Todd Bear from Bavk Porch Homes, and so we're going to have Todd just give us some closing remarks and how we can contact you and what we can look for in the future here.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's funny because when we got started in this whole thing, we wanted to be able to sell directly to the public because, the public is who buys these things.
Exactly.
But come to find out, there are some things in place in the industry. So when you buy them, they have to go through a dealer, and we're not a dealer. We don't want to get into that because it is a whole other business. So right now we are manufacturers. We build the homes. And then you have to go through a dealer. We have a ton of dealers, so you can call us and we'll get you directed to who can get you fixed up. And some dealers are better at doing ADUs than others. This is still a very new market.
Yes.
And for people out there that are looking for an opportunity, the ADU market is a huge, wide open market that is ready for people. Trust me.
There's at all levels.
At all levels. And this is something we're going to be pushing and we're going to be promoting over the coming years as well, because it's just a massive void in this industry on, like you said, we need contractors, we need drafters, we need,
working
salespeople, consultants people. I mean, you need so many different people in this industry to make this work. And it's coming, it's coming. But for right now, for right now, if people want to get an ADU in their backyard, you can talk to somebody like Sharon. Sharon will get you fixed up with all the information you need, and she can look at your property, tell you what can even go there, because I know I've looked at some strange looking lots,
Exactly.
I've looked at this wedge-shaped thing with this little squiggly, I'm like, I don't know how this lot even got drawn, but okay, but every place has kind of a thing you can put there, and there's some really good software now that helps out with that.
Exactly. And I'm still using it so we can actually pull up property and put the ADU floor plan on their backyard, and get some basic feasibility questions out the way so they can know which way to go, manufacturer, stick build, or what suits their property.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes stick build is the best option. I'm not going to say that our option is a one size fits all. It's it fits a lot of options, but sometimes stick build is the only way you can really go. And that's what people like Sharon are around for, is to tell you which way is the best way to go.
Yeah, to get started.
Plus, to work within your budget. And some people might have certain design needs, and we're a factory, so we don't build everything custom. Everything we build they're based upon floor plans and models. And if you want to be the only one in the world with this particular thing, we're not going to be the one to build it for you. We build stuff that it might be identical to something that's in a neighboring city. So and that's just the way manufacturing works. If that were the case, then everybody would have a different looking iPhone.
Exactly.
But
what's the best way to get in contact with you?
So if for anybody that might be interested, we don't have everything up on the website yet, because some of this stuff we can prefer to push through our dealers. But you can go to bavkporchhomes.com and check out our website. There are some models up there. We have some of our park models, which is also sort of like cabins for RV parks. Another big market that's out there.
Yes.
We're not here to talk about those today, but park models are a very cool thing.
And there's a difference. We have to learn. There's park models, and there's the ADU models that go with your property.
Yeah, you'll hear a lot of terms thrown out there. You'll hear modular, stick build, you'll hear tiny home, you'll hear park model, you'll hear manufactured home, double wide, single wide. All these things are different things.
Exactly.
It's container homes. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Homes.
Yeah.
Another nightmare.
A 3D 3D home.
3D printed home. Yeah. Oh gosh, there's so
They say Wild West.
Wild West. But it's cool. Any innovation in housing, I'm excited about, because we need housing. We are 1.2 million units short in this state.
Yeah.
We need so many more houses.
Exactly.
Us as a manufacturer, I can build 2,000 homes a year out of our plant in Riverside. That's not going to make a dent in the 1.2 million. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I need more people. I need more manufacturers.
Exactly.
We need investment in California for this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, if anybody wants to get in touch with us, go to bavkporchhomes.com. Check out some of our models. If you got some questions, call our sales team. Our number is 951-394-1844. And then you can talk to our sales staff, and they'll get you all fixed up with, a dealer, and schedule a factory tour and all that good stuff. Plus, tomorrow we're hosting a car show. If anybody wants to come out and check it out,
okay.
we have a big car show at our plant in Riverside at 1400 Marlboro Avenue in Riverside, from 8 o'clock to 2 o'clock. So if anybody wants to come out and check out some custom cars and see some of our homes, we'll be hosting that as well.
Okay, thank you so much, Todd. This has been great. Thank you. This is Dr. Sharon Barnes, and I thank you for sticking with me and checking out the show today. Next month, we will have Terrence McCarthy, the TR, the loan guy, here on the show. And I also want to let you know that I am at the ADU Advantage is also a provider under CalHalpa for that $40,000 grant that's available for ADU. So reach out to me, connect me on Facebook under ADU Advantage, LinkedIn, and our YouTube channel, or you can call me at 909-652
909-652-1409. That's 909-652-1409. Thanks for sticking with me, and I'll see you next month. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye-bye.